Hi everyone, this video is going to be over composition of functions. So a composition function is a way of combining two functions. Okay, so when you see something that is written like this, okay, with that open circle, f compose g of x, we can rewrite it as f of g of x with these double parentheses, and we pronounce it f of g of x. Something super duper important, this does not mean to multiply. Okay, this does not mean to multiply. What this means is that we are going to place the g function into the f function. So give an example, our example 1, given f of x equals 5x minus 4 and g of x equals 3x minus 1, find the following. So we're starting with f of g of 2. So what is most helpful is if we rewrite this as f of g of 2. So notice how I wrote the g of 2 in red. We're going to start from the inside and work our way out. So first thing we're going to find is g of 2. So g of 2 is equal to 3 times 2 minus 1. So what we're going to do is we multiply. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. Now that we know that, we are able to find and substitute that in for what I have highlighted in red. So f of 5. So now all we need to find is f of 5. Well, that would be so f is the 5x minus 4. So that would be 5 times 5 minus 4, which is 25 minus 4, which is equal to 21. So f of g of 2 is equal to 21. Okay, looking at example B, we have g of f of x. So notice how the order is different. Okay, so we should get a different answer. So A and B are not equivalent expressions even if they had the same number. This does need to be corrected to be a -1. Okay, which I believe it's already corrected on your paper. Okay, so here we go. We have g of f of -1. So we're going to start by finding f of -1. So f of -1 would be 5 times -1 minus 4. That would be -5 minus 4, which is equal to -9. So now we can evaluate that as g of -9. So I'm going to use the g equation of 3 times -9 minus 1. That would be equal to a -27 minus 1, which is equal to -28. Looking at our next one for C. So now we're using just variables. So it is the exact same concept, except now we're going to plug a whole function into another function. So here we go. We have f of g of x. So we're going to plug g of x in. So g of x is equal to 3x minus 1. And so anywhere there's an x and f of x, we are going to replace it with a 3x minus 1. So what that looks like is 5 times x. So that's going to be 5 times 3x minus 1 minus 4. So now we just have to simplify. So 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times -1 is -5 minus 4. combine like terms, we get 15x minus 9. Okay, moving on to C or D. So again, we always start by rewriting it. G of f of x. So this time we're going to plug in the f function into the g function. So that would be 5x minus 4, which is equal to 3 times 5x minus 4 minus 1. We multiply. 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 minus 1. Then we combine our like terms. We get 15x minus 13. And that would be it for that one. Okay, now we have f of g of x, f of f of x. So we're using the same function twice. So what that would look like is f of x. So we are plugging f back into itself. So f of x is 5x minus 4. So anywhere there's an x, we're going to plug in 5x minus 4. Like that. We multiply it out. 5 times 5x is 25x. 5 times negative 4 is a negative 20 minus 4. And we get 25x minus 24. And that would be it. Okay, looking at g of x. So we have g of x. So we're composing g into itself. So that would be g of 3x minus 1, which is equal to 3 times 3x minus 1. So 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus 1. That would give us 9x minus 4. So again, we're just composing one into the other. Now, what I do want to point out again is that if you look at C and G, the order in which we compose functions does matter because you do not get the same result always. Okay, there is a special case and we'll be talking about that later. But as of right now, when you compose f of g of x, it is not the same as g of f of x. So make a note off to the side or right here in the middle, something that you're going to be able to see. F of g of x does not equal g of f of x. Okay, that is important to know right there. Those are not the same. They are not equivalent. This is not a commutative property. Okay, so I have 4 more examples to go through, and then that will be it for this video. So example 2, given f of x equals x squared minus 4x minus 45, and g of x equals x squared plus 2, find the following. So we're going to start with f of g of 2. Okay, f of g of 2. So what that is f of g of 2. So we're going to start by finding that inside function of g of 2. So g of 2 would be 2 plus 2, which equals 4. So we can rewrite this as f of 4. Okay, so f of 4 would be 4 squared minus 4 times 4 minus 45. That would give me 16 minus 45. My two 16s would cancel each other out, and that would leave me with a negative 45. Okay, Now we want to find g of f of -1, so that does need to be corrected right there. I believe on your paper it should already be fixed, but on mine it is not. So we're going to find g of f of -1. So that would be finding f of -1 first. So that would be -1 squared minus 4 times -1 minus 45. That would be equivalent to 1 plus 4 minus 45, which would be equal to a -40. So now I have -40 plus 2, and that would be equal to a -38. Okay, moving on to now just evaluating functions, function inside of a function rather than dealing with numbers. So we rewrite this as f of g of x. So this is where we're going to plug in g of x anywhere there's an x in f. So what this looks like is f of x plus 2. So anywhere there's an x, we're going to replace it with an x plus 2, which would be x plus 2 squared minus 4 times x plus 2 minus 45. So we need to expand. So off to the side, I am going to show you x plus 2 squared is equal to x plus 2 times x plus 2. If we FOIL, x times x is x squared, x times 2 is plus 2x, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. So we get x squared plus 4x plus 4. So I'm going to substitute that in. X squared plus 4x plus 4. Then I am going to distribute -4 times x. I get a -4x. -4 times 2 is a -8 minus 45. I combine my like terms, so there's no other x squared. I combine the 4x and the -4x. Those cancel each other out. And then I combine 4 minus 8, which is -4, minus 45, that is a -49. And that would be it for that one. Okay, moving on to the last question. We have g of f of x. So that is equal to g of f of x, which is equal to g of x squared minus 4x minus 45. So anywhere there's an x, we're going to replace it with that, which is the very first term. So we get x squared minus 4x minus 45, and then plus 2. We combine our like terms. That gives us x squared minus 4x minus 43. So if you have any questions over any of the composition of functions, please make sure you write them down and you ask your teacher the next time you see them. And if you have any questions on the review part, please check the worked out notes to see if you got them correct. And if anything doesn't work out, then again, please make sure you reach out to your teacher. And I will see you in the next video.